This news update is brought to you by...
So, I'm meeting Rico later. Gotta check in with the girls, but first, let me check my usage on the MyLime app. Now, what should I wear? Hashtag sexy. He's here.
Welcome to the Barbados Today Evening Update for Monday, April 27th. I'm Fernella Wedderburn. A pleasant good evening to you. It was the first day of classes at the Teachers Training College for students of the Combermere School. Principal Vera Parry says just over 140 fifth form students showed up today for classes and settled in quite nicely. He says that by Thursday, an estimated 380 students, including 6 formers, will attend classes at the temporary location. However, Paris says he expects that students will be back at their Waterford base by next week as officials address environmental concerns at the school.
This work has been ongoing for some time. The school never sat idly by while other persons complained. You would have heard the minister talk about stories that you would have heard in the press, and a number of those stories were rather inaccurate, as well as a lot of speculation. But this school, through its administration, its board, and the ministry, they were all kept informed of what had been experienced here by both staff and students, and decisions were taken to ensure that we bring this plant back into the kind of shape that we would want it to be in, that people would be comfortable in terms of looking after the health of students, the health of staff, all categories of staff.
Principal Vera Parry speaking to reporters following a tour of the school this afternoon, which he says is currently getting an industrial cleaning, and a number of other issues will also be addressed.
The other work which has been done was done through destructive investigation, and having taken the advice of a civil engineer who was asked to have a look at the report and give us some recommendations, which he did, and we followed those recommendations. So that destructive work revealed that we did have some challenges that we have corrected. Many of them were concealed. One was under the ground itself, totally underground, 2 feet down, and another one was in a wall, so that we were able to correct all of those, along with the natural gas. So all the other work that is being done currently will be done to ensure that all existing manholes, etc., that the covers are renewed, so that there is no leakage.
Also on hand for the tour were officials from the Barbados Secondary Teachers Union, the Ministry of Labour, Health, and officials from the Ministry of Education, including Minister Ronald Jones.
We are progressing quite well. Work has been quite rapid and will still be ongoing, because there's still some things that we have to do to ensure that all of the parties are satisfied, and that those who have to give us, I use the word all clear, will have the kind of knowledge which would give us that all clear. I am not a scientist, neither am I an environmental person, so I have to accept the guidance on this matter.
Meantime, Minister of Labour Dr. Esther Bayer is expressing concerns about what she describes as a culture of recklessness in Barbados, and she is calling on residents to help stem the problem before it finds its way into the workplace. Dr. Bayer made the plea during the one-day occupational health and safety seminar at the Barbados Light and Power Company today, as the country joined the rest of the world in observing the day.
I am very concerned about the things I see on the road, motorists, cyclists and pedestrians. And if the culture of recklessness that we see on the road is reflected in our workplaces, then we will not be able to curb the incidence of workplace accidents. We see too many people, pedestrians for example, who don't cross the street properly. And that is something, must government take responsibility for that, for educating? Maybe. But I think all of us have a role to play. Teachers in schools, media, everybody, we have a role to play. We have to instill that culture of safety and health. We can't wait until adults get into the workplace, then to try to instill safety practices.
There's a call for the private sector to invest more in entertainment venues across the island. It comes from Minister of Culture Stephen Lashley, who says the country is well positioned to become the entertainment capital of the Caribbean. Speaking to Barbados Today as the curtains came down on the annual Barbados Reggae Festival last night, Minister Lashley also called on persons involved in the entertainment industry to see music not just as entertainment, but as big business.
Each year, I see the festival is growing. I believe that this is a good example of a private sector initiative that continues to attract huge numbers. And I believe that given what I've seen from the organizers, it will get even better, bigger and better. I think one of the things that we certainly have to look at in Barbados is perhaps creating more venues for entertainment. But I think that, we make a mistake by only pointing to the government to create venues. I think that, private developers, private entrepreneurs who have been making, this their business also need to focus on the other aspect of creating, venues that can host, huge shows. And they don't have to wait for the government to do that. I think this is something that you can see as an investment. In
other news, 24-year-old Jamal Kamal Husbands has been formally charged with the murder of Wayne Albert. Husbands of Husbands St. Lucie is accused of the shooting death of the 40-year-old security guard, which occurred on Friday evening in Broomfield, St. Lucie. He was expected to appear in the Whole Town Magistrates Court today, but up to news time, he had not been seen by the judge. To sports now, and there was no place at the Wildy St. Michael AstroTurf for the ESFC Unity Stars to hide from the National Sports Council over the weekend in the Barbados Football Association's Women's Premier League. NSC dished out a 7-0 drubbing that started 10 minutes into the encounter and basically didn't end until the final whistle. With the NSC on the right side of the points table and Unity Stars languishing at the bottom, the result surprised no one, with 6 different players getting their names on the score sheet in the total NSC team performance. In the other Premier League encounter, UWI Blackbirds edged Genesis 2-1.
There's regional and international news after this short break.
Secure your future, be financially strong. Since 1983, we have been there for you. A smart range of products, great tax benefits. We're the solution to your hopes and your dreams. The Barbados Workers Union Cooperative Credit Union. The Barbados Workers Union Cooperative Credit Union. Humble beginnings to smart loans, smart savings. Save smart and borrow smarter. That's the move for me. Stability, prosperity. We're the solution to your hopes and your dreams. The Barbados Workers Union Cooperative Credit Union. The Barbados Workers Union Cooperative Credit Union.
A test of character, a test of focus, a test of will, a test of resilience, a test of courage. Barbados, the test is on. West Indies, England, May 1st at the Mecca. Tickets $30, $40, $50, and $60. It's on.
Barbados is on.
To news from the region, Prime Minister of Trinidad and Tobago continues to hold the elections date close to her chest. There was wide speculation that Prime Minister Kamala Persad-Bissessar would have called the poll at last night's UNC's 26th anniversary celebrations. But she told party faithfuls she would not be rushed into naming a date for the general election, which is constitutionally due in September. And finally, on the international scene, 7 police officers in Baltimore were injured today, and another is said to be unresponsive after protests there turned violent. According to reports, dozens of people were in the streets confronting officers, and at least 1 police car was smashed. Captain Eric Kowalski said his department will deploy tear gas and pepper balls in a bid to take control of the situation and ensure safety. And on that note, we come to the end of our Barbados Today evening update, but you can join us again at 7 on Wednesday morning. Until then, remember to log on to www.barbadostoday.bb, subscribe to our e-paper, email updates, and like us on Facebook. You can also catch us on iZoomi Media, that's in bus terminals, or Screenplay at supermarkets and gas stations near you. Also, tune into Channel 101 on 9TV and a Mix 96.9 FM to get all the latest news and sports. I'm Frenella Wedderburn. Do have a safe and enjoyable Heroes Day.
This news update is brought to you by...
So, I'm meeting Rico later. Gotta check in with the girls, but first, let me check my usage on the MyLime app. Now, what should I wear? #sexy.